Hey everybody, alright, here we go. Truckn Pro Owner Operator Edition. Ray's got it done now. You can go and download it and try the program out. I put my 3.5 months of data into it over the last day here, and it's really easy program to use. It's really fluid. If you're in the trucking business as a single owner operator, you really need something like this to keep track of everything you do, so you know if you're profitable or not, right? So a lot of people pay, certain companies a large amount of money a year. This is a tool that you can use, and that way you don't have to call somebody else to find out how you're doing. So anyway, when you download this program, there's a couple tabs you want to get to do before you even want to start, and one of them is right here, this Utilities tab. When you click that tab, you're going to find Company Profile. This will locate your data file in the database. You can locate your scanned documents, email settings, fax settings, and so forth. And if you need blank bill of ladings for where you're at, they have that too in there. Alright, so if you get Company Profile, it'll bring it up. And I got my name in here. You just type your name in. You type address, city, state, and you fill in anything you want to fill in on this form. Okay? Now, down here, I picked flat rate because what we see on our load board is what we get. They've already taken out the percentage. Now, on another load board, they put the gross on there, and they have to take their percentage off of that. So, if you're with those companies, you click on percentage, you'd put your percentage in here. So, on your shipment tabs, on your load tabs, when you put in the amount of money, it'll calculate that for you. All right. So you want to fill that out. So we'll close this out. Your next tab is trucks. Okay, you want to go to the trucks tab. And I put my name in here, and then you just put a truck number in here. And you can put VIN number, year. You can fill this out as much as you want. You can even add a photo, right? And you put notes. And then in this maintenance tab, you can always go here and go maintenance, and you can put your mileage and service repair costs, and it'll keep track of your maintenance here. Alright, we'll close that out. Now your next tab is your shippers and receivers. Now, I put a few in here for test purposes. So if you want to add one, and I suggest, like me, I went in and put all my shippers and receivers that I hauled for in the last 3.5 months in here. That way they were easy to access when I went to my my pickup and drop tab, and I'll show you that here in a second. But let's say we go by numbers, so we'll add a number in here. Alright, and let's say it's New Wave. We'll just make up a name, and we'll put an address in here. Right. And let's say it's in Atlanta. And then you can put a zip code in here. And if you do that and you click weather, it'll bring up the weather for Atlanta. Google Maps will bring up this address and so forth. That's real nice. If you have internet access, it'll do this stuff. Okay, you can put notes in here like don't arrive more than 10 minutes early, or has parking. You can do anything you want, put in here. Okay, and it's all self-explanatory. And then we'll close this out. Alright, so that's what you do there. Alright, so then there's a vendors tab. Now this will be all the truck stops are in here, and if you just got general in that, and if you click this, you can add another vendor. So if you have like Menards or Lowe's or something like that, put them in there. Make sure you put their phone number, because it's going to go by the phone number. If you look at the vendor list here, it's going to show you, and they're all fuel stops in here. And you can scroll down the list, right? And it comes up by the phone numbers. All right, so that's how you do that. You just hit new record, put in a new vendor list. Okay? All right, so now we're going to get down to the other stuff here. Okay, so we hit revenue. And this is where you're going to enter all your information now, since you're all set up and ready to go. Now, it's your trip info tab. Here you are. And if you have a load ID, you'd put it in there. Okay, so load 34900. Let's say that's your load ID. You can drop this menu down if you want and pick your truck if you want, or you can leave it blank. Same thing with all these other boxes here. And if you had another load in there earlier, you could autofill, but we don't. So you can back this up as far as you want. So we're going to say it was January 1st and start typing in a word. Then let's say we were in Flag Pond, Tennessee. All right, we loaded on the 1st. All right, and I always go down the end date and say if I unloaded on the 2nd, because it's really easy to move through. And let's say we unloaded there. Let's say we picked up in the same town. All right, so we pick up in the same town, and let's say we're going to go to I won't type it in. We'll say Aaron, Kentucky. Make it simple. And let's say our ending odometer from last year was 59,020. And when we went to get the load, we had a 100-mile deadhead. So we had 59,120. And so you have a 100-mile deadhead here. And let's say the load is, 300 miles. We did 300 actual miles, and our ending odometer is 59,420. So we got 300 in that. Okay, so when you come down here, I'm going to pick line haul. All right. And I'm going to say that the load paid $450 line haul, and it also had $50 fuel surcharge. So I'd pick fuel surcharge, $50. All right, and it's going to show that the average actual pay per mile is $1.25 with with the deadhead and everything in there, right? So if it had a $100 surcharge, of course you're at $1.38 and so on, right? So whatever it pays. Now if you have something in here like extra stop, let's say it had extra stop pay. All right, there's detention, drop, and pickup, and that. So if it didn't have extra stop pay in here, you could just click the box beside it, add new category, stop. It's a stop pay. You could add that in there. Okay. So let's say this thing had 3 stops. You got $50 a stop. So you pick stop pay, $150. And that's what it would be. So when this load pays on your payroll date, you click it, you pick from the calendar, and this is back in January, so let's say it paid on January 7th. All right, so you check that, pick up and drop. Okay, let's say it was a preloaded, and at the destination you dropped it, let's say. Well, it's a live unload. You put live unload. All right, so you can fill in the odometer here if you want. 59, 420. Doesn't really, it's a demonstration here. 59,720. So you can pick your arrival times and your departure, and it'll keep track of your time and detention pay if you get detention. But when you go to do the shipper, if you start typing in the numbers, 2, 3, let's say this was the place, it automatically bring it up, right? And if you're receiver, you come and pick from the list. If you hit this arrow, you'll have the list. If you hit this one here, it'll show you an error, right? So you come down here, and let's say you're going here, put it in there. That's why I said it's important to put all your shippers and receivers in there, so you can just go in here from the drop-down menu, or if you're looking at your paperwork where you write everything down, and the code was 123 or 130, whatever it is right there, you just hit the first couple, bam, you're done. It's real quick once you got everything in there. You can also put notes in here on it also. Alright, so then we go to the fuel tab. And this is, you put in your fuel in here. So if you bought fuel on this trip, you would put in here, let's say in the 2nd, and let's see, your miles was 59,300. And then your miles when you got to the fuel stop was 59,400. And then you put in on your receipt from the truck stop, put in the phone number. So if it's 989, it'll start bringing up this list, all right, from the zip code. So if you got it from the TA in Saginaw, Michigan, you'd hit that button. It automatically fills in the state for you. Tab over here. And if you get a cash, CompCheck, or EFS, you put that in there. If it's something else, all you got to do is hit this button here, add new, and add a new category. Okay? So we're going to say it's EFS, and we're going to say we got 100 gallons. And let's say it was $280. All right, so if you had an advance, you can put it there, invoice. And what I do is I scan my bills in, or my fuel receipts, so I can throw them away. Because I can always print them out later, and I can back it up on a couple zip drives, so I know I have the backup. So you hit this button, and you hit the scan button, and then you can scan in your receipts, or if they're in a file, your photos, you can do that. So once you have the receipt in here, if you want to print it, you can print it as a PDF, open up in Adobe, and so forth. So it's like it's a digital filing cabinet for you. So then when you hit expenses, same thing. You can put expenses in here for the trip. If you want to keep track of the IFTA, you put in the state, Michigan, state odometer readings and the highways traveled in each state. It'll keep track of your IFTA and your gallons purchased and stuff. So that's that. And if you hit profit and loss for this trip, it'll show you the profit and loss with your fuel that you bought and everything in here. All right, for that trip. So then when you want to do another one, your second trip, you hit new record. And you would just fill all this out again. And then you can hit autofill last. And it'll put that last town you were in with the odometer reading. You just fill this out. And then you just go through the tabs again. Real simple. So it's real simple to do that. Just go through all the tabs again. And it gives me that error because I don't have a load ID in there. So it'll tell you. That's a good thing about this program. If you do something wrong, it's going to tell you. Then you can go back and remember to put an ID in here. See, so if I do that, it's got an ID, load ID. And then if I go here, I won't get that error. See? But always watch his videos. So that's simple. And then you got your digital filing cabinet, which is nice. The reports are really good because this is where you get everything. He added this button here for your information. It's a quick snapshot. All right. So it's a quick snapshot. Or you can put in your dates from exactly what you want. January through April, which, we're not going to have nothing in there, but if you click on all these, revenue by date, we have one load. It's going to show you that load and everything, and it's going to list all the loads you had. So if you have 100 loads, they're all going to be in here, and it's going to average everything out for you. Nice, telling you how many loaded miles, empty miles you got, your average miles. This is a great tool to know how your business is doing. And then you can do fuel by state, fuel by date. It breaks everything down, expenses, everything. There's not a report. He's thought of everything. And he also takes, if you want to email him, if you have a suggestion, he takes the suggestions and stuff. You even got your miles per gallon in there and stuff. The profit and loss report will come up, and it'll have, there you go, Then you can print that out and do whatever you want with it. Save it as a PDF, print it. So there you go. That's the new program. So it's really easy to use. It took me about hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to put 3.5 months in there. And so it doesn't take very long. So I'm right up to date now, and I'll be using this program, the rest of the year, and seeing if I can, see if there's anything, we could add. You could add to it, make it better and stuff. So there you go. That's Fogline Software's new Truckn Pro Owner Operator Edition for the single owner operator. So I hope everybody enjoyed it, and we'll see you later.